Hey guys, I really wanted to play a Sandbagger series game for you today, but it seems like the Thai Gym server is down. So instead, I thought I'd make a quick little video and show you two of my most favorite Josekis in the world, and I think you'll see why they're my favorite. If you've watched any of my videos before, especially the earlier ones, I've covered these a lot in past videos. But you know, they're worth knowing, they're worth refreshing, and I hope you get a kick out of them. All right, so the first one is a situation when we're usually the white player or the person who has a 4/3 stone, and either the opponent approaches us and we tanuki, or we approach an opponent's 5/3 stone like this. That's sort of the situation. I'll put some other stones on the board for context because I know how you guys like context. So let's say this is the type of situation, and black wants to lean on this stone to keep developing the right-hand side. This is a very natural move. The normal way to deal with this is white. There's two ways actually that's normal. But in this situation, it's probably normal just to let black lean on you and you just take the corner and make this little side position like this. Alternatively, there is Joseki where you can push and cut, though this is very difficult in this situation. So usually this push cut is when white has a pincer stone and black doesn't have support, but which is why we'd expect to see this one. But anyway, black plays here, and instead of playing this is my favorite part, white gets to play here. And this move looks stupid, right? It just looks terrible and kind of dumb, and black can just cut us off entirely, right? Well, yeah, that's sort of the problem with it. But let's start asking some questions. Let's say, hey, black, will you let us get out? And black has a couple responses here, but let's say black just descends and says, nope, you can't get out, you're still cut, both your groups are still stupid. Okay, let's play another stupid move. This Joseki is going to involve a lot of stupid moves for white. Can I get out this way? Black says no. And then we say, oh, okay, well, let's cut this way. And this cut doesn't quite work, right? I mean, it looks like black can just get out this way. We will just Atari once. And we'll come back here and make sure the corner is dead. So just to whip out my little tool set here, we got this group which looks stupid, this group that looks stupid, and this group that looks dead. So two stupids and a dead should not mean it's your most favorite Joseki. But hey, let's play another stupid move. That one looks really dumb, doesn't it? We make an empty triangle, we push into an area where black can obviously block, we short our liberties. Like, this move is so stupid, right? But it also does something kind of cool. So now at this point, white's going to cut, and black is kind of looking at him crazy-like because this also looks stupid. This cut just doesn't work. But you know what? That's not really important because we're just going to Atari this way, and we're going to get two free moves on the outside like this. White is then going to play a move that actually looks legitimate. This is the first non-stupid move in a while, minus these forcing moves. So we're asking, hey, can we capture this group? And black is, of course, going to say no. And black can read and know that I can't quite capture this group. It's actually a 4-4 liberty capturing race right now. So, you know, black can connect and has no worries. Well, no problem. We're going to play this move. And now all of a sudden, this capturing race can start. Right before I couldn't do this. I couldn't just start the capturing race because black just escapes. But I can net black, and that's pretty useful. So now it's a 4-4 capturing race, so black will have to come back, and then we'll come back, and black will come back again. We'll play this. This is actually Sente. Black has to play one more move. Later on, we can even get this move in Sente if we want. We'll just take it now just to show you guys. And black has the entire corner that was, you know, it's sort of, we approached it. It was going to be our corner, but we gave it back to black. And that corner is worth exactly 18.5 points. You have 10 points here, right? 5 spaces of 2 captures each, plus 3, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and maybe this one, I think, is how it works. So we gave up black 18 points, but what did we get? Well, we, ladies and gentlemen, got the most beautiful looking wall in the entire world. Oh, I missed a move. Oh no, how did I miss a move? Did I miss a move? White gets an extra move over here somehow. Oh well. Well, I haven't played my favorite Joseki in a really long time, as it turns out. Where did we miss a move? I don't remember. Anyway, you guys can look it up and see if I missed a move over here. Obviously, white doesn't have to take that right now. White has Sente at this point. We could just play a move like this and really just completely seal black in and guarantee that our wall has potential on both sides. And this wall, I don't underestimate this value of this wall. This is like way more than 18 points. This is actually considered really good for white in this position because this is very developable up here, this whole area. And this, white plays any stone over here, and all of a sudden the entire black right side that black thought he was making lots of development, lots of points, is nothing. This wall is so strong, you can invade anywhere and you're not going to die. And in fact, you're going to be on the offensive. You can pretty easily imagine that, right? If black tries to come in here, you could just, here, pretend, I don't know, something happens there. Come here, and you can actually see how difficult this move is for black to deal with. Because all of a sudden this Q10 stone is stranded, and you're putting some pressure on the corner. So this is one of my most favorite Josekis, although I feel like I missed something, which makes me feel kind of silly. But again, it involves so many stupid moves. Just to refresh the sequence, we play this one, and then if black cuts, again, black doesn't have to cut here. And in fact, in this case, black should probably, should definitely not cut. Black can push once, and then black could just come back here and make this kind of formation. This is a pretty reasonable exchange for black. Black could even take Sente here if he wanted to play faster. Oh, this move in the corner is very large too. So that's probably what black should do. But man, you can cut this off, so why not cut this off, right? I mean, that's basic Go strategy. Some of you might be wondering what happens if black Hane. Does this help black win the capturing race? It looks like it takes away liberty from white, but the reality is that it totally doesn't, because it also before, when black had a stone at 019, black actually had 2 liberties across this 19th row, but now it only has 1. So it actually doesn't change anything in the capturing race, which is actually pretty cool. Maybe we'll play that first. The order here, there are some subtle differences to the order that you can make based on what the surrounding situation is like. Man, I really wish I remembered what maybe that is just the finishing move. It's going to bother me. I should have looked this up before I recorded this video. But again, I want to play on Taijim today. So, whoops, what did I do? Whoop. That's actually different. What did I do? Either way, white still gets that wall in Sente. Man, I needed to, I don't know, drink some water or something. I'm going insane. All right, let me show you my other favorite Joseki. This is, I mean, and actually there's a lot of variations of this Joseki. I'll show you the one, I think my all-time favorite one is the one that was played in the Lee Sedol ladder game, which I did a video about, which you can go back and watch. It was an earlier video. The Lee Sedol ladder game was, for a while, I think on the internet, the most downloaded SGF game basically ever played. It was more or less a blitz game played by Lee Sedol, where they started the magic sword pincer Joseki that sort of looks like this. The magic sword Muramasa, I think is what it's called. Not really sure. One of you guys can correct me. This is the move for white. This sort of sets off the whole sequence. And before I show you the Lee Sedol ladder variation that is now very, very famous, there are some more tricky modern continuations in the last few years that I've come across. Like this thrust is actually really powerful for black, because when white just blocks like this, you can countercut. And this fight is just, ooh, vicious for everyone. You may not think it's that vicious because like white has a move like this to put pressure on this stone and then capture this stone. But the problem is when white plays here, or when black plays here, these two stones are actually ladderable, right? So white can't do anything like this again because this just dies. So it's pretty, this is actually a really, really vicious fight. And I've seen a lot of different variations, and I played a bunch of different variations. There was a Go Congress a few years ago where Feng Yun, who's a 9-dan professional, was teaching all of her little kid students these variations. And all of these like kids, you know, aged from like 6 to 15, were playing this Joseki in their U.S. Open games, and just frightening the hell out of people who'd never seen this before, because this is just deadly. But this is not my favorite variation. Let me go to my favorite variation. It starts when black cuts this way, and there are other variations now too that like this. This is another variation that has come around. But let's just look at this cut one. This is sort of the classic one. The other reason why I think this is my favorite is because KGS, when I used to play a lot on KGS, and I really don't play that much anymore on KGS, but KGS, like everyone in KGS was playing this variation. Like this was just the KGS variation. If you were a low Dan or high Q player, or I should say lower digit Q or lower digit Dan, that makes sense. You know, between 3K and 3 Dan, probably like you probably, if you were playing a few games on KGS, at a time, you'd probably see this in at least one of your games for a while. You know, styles change, I suppose. I'm not sure if it's still that way, but that was my experience. White Hanes, and black defends this stone. White thrusts. Black will make this sort of table shape here in the middle. White comes down to take the corner. Black connects. White tries to seal it from the outside. Black fixes. And this whole sequence actually relies on white having the ladder. So let me put 2 more stones on the board here, because this is the start of the ladder variation. If white doesn't have the ladder, white can actually just play here and everything's fine, everything's cool, and there are no problems. But in the ladder game, Sedol plays here, and now all of a sudden it's this cut that is the really interesting point. It turns out. Because if we play here, I'll show you this ladder. Black can play here, and this is actually now considered Joseki. At the time, it really wasn't. I don't believe it was, at least, to play this immediately. But players now actually say that, you know, because it sets up such a deadly ladder, you're actually not giving up that much to make give up this whole group. Basically, black's going to make this giant group here on the inside that's going to die, but you're actually not giving up that much in the end. So, I have to remember, I haven't done this in a while. Yep, black has to play here, and white can't Atari this way. White actually has to make this stupid shape and Atari this way. And black plays here to peep. White connects. Black can exchange one more time. But now you guys can see this is just a capturing race. Black has 4 and white has 5, so black should lose the capturing race. However, there is this cut. And the really interesting thing about this cut is, number one, you can see that this will set up a ladder, right? Black will come in, let's say, if white didn't have the ladder, right, this is just threatening this ladder to save the entire group and kill the entire corner. But this cut also actually threatens to kill these 3 stones, which is pretty far out. So white actually needs to come back here and play a move to make sure this group has enough liberties, and that's why these 2 stones really need the ladder. Black can come back here and make another exchange, threatening to wedge here and capture those 3 stones again. Then at this point, I think there's a number of things black can do, one of which is actually here. And this, I believe, the best response is for white to either take this Atari first and then come back, or just come back. I think, and I don't remember quite exactly how all this works, although I probably should, since I'm calling it to be one of my favorite Joseki. The cut white here, I think, is a really bad idea, because it basically lets black get a bunch of free stuff over here, and then that makes the ladder work again for black, and that's exactly what we don't want to see. Although I'm actually not quite remembering how to go about doing that, but it's a thing. So this is the core of the ladder variation anyway. This getting to this point is basically it. So let's just go through that sequence once again, just to show you how this whole thing happened and what was the reasoning behind each move. Right, black takes a 4-3 corner, white approaches, and black pincers. And again, We usually pincer in this type of situation when we want to build something on the right. We want to attack this stone and have it run out while we're building something over here. You know, something like this. Like we have some territory we want to make over there. It is possible to also play this when you want to build this way, when you want to build this up. Although it doesn't actually build it that effectively. You usually want to take territory while attacking. So anyway, we're going to play that one. White's going to play this. The reason why white plays this is because jumping out is really not doing a whole lot. This stone is too far away for white to attack this directly. Although this is actually a very playable variation, and that we see a lot in I think Korean and Chinese play. They tend to play this a lot, but it's you know I think it's still deemed as somewhat either over aggressive or it feels wrong to make this really strong white wall here when this black stone is a little bit hard to attack. Although actually the nice thing about this variation is that white can attach here and then make a base directly. But you're basically giving black what black wants anyway, so. Okay, whoops, no, not the crazy variation. So anyway, white plays here because making just a big wall usually isn't good enough. White could play here, but it's basically going to go back to some sort of variation where white makes a wall and black gets some sort of group. So we avoid that as well. So that's why we find this move. Another playable move is actually this one. This is another version, or it's a completely different variation. You can look this Joseki up. But you play this one when you really just want to make a strong white group here and really want to counterattack this severely. Black doesn't want to be black doesn't want to let white get away with too thin of a shape, too efficient of a shape, I guess I should say. Cutting here is a really terrible idea. Basically, black's corner is actually much stronger now, and this stone is actually pretty easy to defend when we have an M16 stone. So we actually hane on the outside. We can pull back, like this is a possibility, but it does give white a very big and nice outside. That is a variation. We get a big corner, but white gets a big, thick outside. It makes our M16 stone look kind of dumb. But it is possible. Now, there are other modern variations here where white can play this. This is a more recent innovation, and it's totally possible. But again, to show you the Lee Sedol ladder variation, we have to play this one. Black also has this response here, which is kind of crazy. And then I think if black has a ladder, black can even play this one. And those are also crazy Josekis. This is the one you'll see like 90% of the time, though. This is the most reasonable. There is a little sort of a trick. If white plays here first, and black responds here, when white plays here, black can actually respond this way. That's possible. So usually we do see this hane first, that's proper. If we play this right now, white won't actually make the O14 exchange, white will probably just O17. And now this Q13 stone is actually really annoying, because black can't expand very quickly. Whoops. Because we can actually force this sort of cutting shape in black later on. So black would have to play a really slow move. And that's annoying. And if black doesn't, if black goes over here to do something like this, this move is very powerful for white. So anyway, that's is why we usually see the connection here. And this move, actually, I need to do more research, because I'm not sure if, of the times when black doesn't do this. I mean, it seems like black almost always does this, but it seems like there should be some interesting variations where black isn't required to do this move, because white has so many cuts that it just feels like this move, the timing of it still feels weird to me. But, many stronger players have been playing this move now for years and years and years. I mean, professionals, right? So they all agree that this move is good. But, if you guys want to go out and invent some Joseki, or at least look at some areas where, at least in the English literature and Joseki dictionaries we have, I don't know of a whole lot of variations that come out of this without black playing here. So I don't really know what Josekis or other Josekis are possible when black omits this move. Even possibly here, although this looks really dangerous for everybody. So anyway, you guys can go and try some original Go research, I guess. maybe it's not original to Go, it's just original to me. So I do make that distinction. But we do see this move. This move is very common. And then we come back, and we could fix all the cuts. If you play this, this prevents the ladder. But of course, blacks can get some free peeps in here. And in terms of endgame, white can actually be shrunk quite a bit. Like, this is very, very few points at this point. We really need another move to make any sort of real points. And what is this? If white plays the Gote move here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7-point corner, maybe. Oh, it's 4 or 5. Yeah, 6, 7. Maybe 7 points. So it's pretty small. But that's why we play this one, the greedy one. And it's true, black can still peep here, but also look at the point difference, right? There's now 10 points there, plus we have a monkey jump later. So, you know, a monkey jump is worth at least 8 points normally. So if we have a move that's worth 3 points more in territory for us. Oh, actually, maybe not after this exchange. How many? This is actually about the same 7, but it's an 8. We get this free monkey jump later, right? So it's an 8-point swing. Is one way to think about the difference between this move and this move. And that's big. I mean, 8 points. How many of you ever lost a game by 8 points? I mean, that's a pretty significant amount. Of course, in order to do this, we need to have the ladder, because there's this cut. And this is the move you need to be able to find. And then white needs to be able to play this one. This is another stupid looking move that white needs to know in this Joseki. Black peeps, and now it's just a capturing race. Professionals make this exchange. I know this actually doesn't fundamentally change the number of liberties each group has. If you look, white has 5 and black has 4. So this move doesn't do anything. But I think later on, in terms of it's an exchange professionals make, I believe, because later on, let's say black gives this up or something happens during a co-fight where white gets this, and actually white needs to connect out, like these liberties or this group is in danger. Well, now when white plays here, if black doesn't respond, like if black needs to fill out a liberty, we can actually link up this way, even if we like lose these 2 stones or something. I'm not really sure. I think it has something to do with linking up this group to this group. But most professional games, you'll see this exchange if they play this Joseki, which they really don't anymore. This is kind of out of fashion now. This is probably you know, it was more in fashion maybe 10, maybe even 15 years ago. And then at this point, black can cut. White has to respond. White has to connect, and then we can even play this one. So yeah, that's basically the Sedol ladder Joseki, and it's a cool one. I mean, what is it? 35 moves. It's or 33 move Joseki, and there's a lot of other variations that are worth exploring and looking. There's actually some really good trick moves. Let me think if I can remember one of the tricks here. Black cuts here. I think here. I think this is a trick. Yeah, this is a trick. Oh, black can play this one first. That doesn't change. Or actually, not really. All right, so when black plays here, what does white do? You can actually see that if white just takes this Atari, white is netted, and now it's a capturing race 4 liberties to 3 liberties. White loses the capturing race, so that's pretty significant. So if we do this one, black just Hanes, and this cut's no good. And this Atari, of course, is no good. So how does white get out of this? Well, there's only one move, and it's that one. And the only reason why this move works is actually because of the Q13 stone. Do you guys see why? Like, this stone is actually absolutely necessary for this move to work. And it's because otherwise there'd still be a ladder, right? Black can do this, but it really doesn't make a difference. You know, white still connects and has enough liberties. If we go this way, well, this is still a ladder, and we already know in order for white to play this, white already has the ladder. Okay, so that doesn't make a difference. But the problem is what happens if black ladders the stone this way. And then you can see how Q13 is really, really important because it breaks this ladder. If Q13 was on the board, this move would just kill these 2 stones. which is pretty cool. So anyway, those are my two favorite Joseki, the 18.5 point trick Joseki and the Lee Sedol ladder Joseki. If you want to learn more, I mean, go back and rewatch my Lee Sedol ladder game video. It's really not my best lecture. It's really not my best video. I think we make a lot of mistakes in the actual review of the game. But, you know, it's still, if you've never seen the game before, it's worth watching. Or just go download the file and read through the game yourself. It's just marvelous. I mean, it's really just like one of those games that make you go, wow, you know, it's just amazing. And it was basically a blitz game, and you could say that Lee Sedol basically won because he played a trick move of running out a ladder that his opponent should have just given up right away. But his opponent didn't quite realize all the ramifications. You know, there was a lot of reading going on two different sides of the boards at the same time, and every stone on one side of the board affected every other stone on the other side. And that was the amazing thing, because they have these dueling ladders going towards the middle of the board. Anyway, check it out. Highly recommend it as far as games that you guys should know about. It's just one of the most entertaining Go games, professional Go games to watch. All right, thanks, guys.